Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nahal. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the program that we're going to start on February 27th, the Yogic Chakras through the 7 valleys. We already have many people signed up already. And so this is kind of like a preparation for the course to begin. Some things that we can bear in mind throughout the duration of the course. As it's going to be a 10-week long course, it's kind of like almost like an endurance exercise where there will be times where we may feel that it gets a little bit overwhelming. But part of the program itself, embedded within it, are how to build like micro habits to kind of like sustain you in your day and to kind of like ground you in a way. And so I would like everyone to just be mindful of the time that is required to dedicate yourself to this program. So one of the exercises that we're going to do in the mornings and in the evenings is a 20-minute reflection practice. In total, that includes like 40 minutes. In addition to that, of course, there will be other practices where it is about self-inquiry and things like that. So something I would like you to think about is when exactly in time you would like to put this in your calendar to do it. So the reflection practices, knowing your own schedule, knowing when you wake up, knowing what time it is, I would like you to start thinking about it. So that on the first day of when we have our lecture, you already know what time you're going to be doing the reflection practice the next day. So the activity work is going to basically immediately happen. What we're going to reflect on is going to change over time. But the fact that we spend 20 minutes in the morning and in the evening reflecting is not going to change throughout the duration of the course. So it's really something that you need to think a little bit about. I would prefer it if you did it at the same time every single day. So schedule it in your calendar. Studies have shown that anything that is in the calendar is 3 times more likely to actually like achieve it. So even if you don't have a habit of it being in the calendar, by putting it in the calendar, you almost kind of like build a habit of going back to it. And kind of the only notifications that I would like you to set up for during this time is the notifications for when you need to do the reflection practices and the evening reflection practices. If any of you suffer from sleep deprivation, or you have a difficulty sleeping, you'll notice that the reflection practices will also enhance your sleep and will help you like enter sleep even faster, because it will deal with all of the things in your mind prior to you going to sleep. So there's so many benefits of the reflection practices that aid to your day and don't hinder it. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by the amount of reflection practices that is required during this course, because it's actually overall what it will do is to really enhance and make more effective your day. So the reflection practice is thinking of a time of when to schedule it in your calendar. Have a think, sit down, look at your calendar and see where to do it, and like have a specific time in mind daily to do this. There's unfortunately no break when it comes to this program. You don't get a day off because these are micro habits that we're trying to build actually like long term. So the second thing that I wanted to mention is that I would like, when we have our Monday and our Sunday evening classes at 8:30 p.m. Beijing time, that you will be very, very focused during that 1 hour that we have together. Meaning that there are no cell phones around, there's nothing else on your desk, there is no distractions. if you have roommates in your house, that you inform your roommates that you're going to be having this 1 hour class, and to keep it down, or not to bother you, or whatever it is that you need to do to ensure that you are cocooned for this next hour for your own focus to kind of happen. And of course, if you are a mother, that means that your task is more, meaning that you need to inform both your children and your husband what mama will be doing for the next hour, so that she can be completely and utterly immersed in her own spiritual growth, so that she can come out and be, of course, of better service and love and affection towards the family. That's not the goal, but that will happen. That is a byproduct, that it will happen. So making sure that notifications, dings, and things like that, since we will be on a 10-week Zoom session, notifications that pop up on your screen, go to your notifications, your settings account, and your notifications, and adjust the frequency of it, or have it completely blocked off of throughout the duration of the class, so that really you know yourself what is actually going to distract you in terms of your classes and whilst you're in class. So you would even be more equipped than me to provide examples of like, what do I need to think of in advance that may disturb me, and to take measures on those days to kind of cocoon yourself. When it comes to like people who are trying to get in touch with you, inform them that during these times that you will be blocked off and you will not be available. So all of the precautions, like think ahead of time right now before we start the course, so that you can think about like how you want to go about like doing this. The other thing that I wanted to mention, there was one other thing. So in terms of the reflection practices, I would like you to prepare both a handwritten option and a digital option, meaning to be very specific, which notebook you're going to use, which pen you're going to use, and where it's going to be placed in your bedroom or on the table, somewhere where you can visibly see it, and that it can be a good reminder. That's if it's a physical object. But then also separately, if you're going to be doing it digitally, I would like you to choose the app that you're going to be using it in. Think of the title in which you're going to name all of the reflection notes. Think of the name of the folder that you're going to be putting it in, how you're going to organize it throughout the 10 weeks. These are things that I just want you to start like thinking about, so that when we start the course, that we are starting strong and starting like on like a similar pace and page. So the other thing that I wanted to mention for this course is that throughout the 10 weeks, there are 10 sessions, and maximally you can miss 2 live sessions, preferably none is the absolute ideal, but only 2 sessions it's possible to miss. So really try to do whatever you can to be as present as you can, and as many times as you can attend live, for several reasons. One is that the energetics of a group dynamic live all together, present at the same time, the energies are different. 2 is that part of this course is that we're kind of co-creating it together. And it requires us to be present at the same time with the same wavelengths and progressing all at the same pace for us to kind of be co-creating this course and molding it in the way for like new gems of wisdom to come out. So it requires that level of intensity. And the third is that when it comes to this course in particular, it is a habit-changing course. So your day needs to be different, needs to be shifted, needs to kind of be oriented towards this. So it is not, I've never been gentle with the amount of work that is required for this course, because it is very intense. And just by the mere fact of seeing who has already signed up for the course, I have perhaps underestimated just how intense it is, because I realized that I have attracted the most intense and deepened and thirsty people for spiritual growth. And it is really, truly, like, just even right now thinking about it, it's like an honor for me to be able to be able to assist you and facilitate this course. But it also does, even with that intensity, it still means that boundaries are going to be pushed in terms of comfort level, in terms of discipline, in terms of how much work is actually required to dig out the inner weeds that we are trying to discover. This course is about self-inquiry. It's about getting to know yourself at its core, truest system. And we're going to be doing this systematically, like a science, like a scientific experiment. So if you do have a scientific background, you will know how much nursing is required in this process. And for this spiritual process in getting to know our souls, which is life's biggest journey, in my opinion, is that it will also require that kind of level of dedication. So I just want to have a little bit of an introduction here, a little bit of prepping in terms of how I would like your environment, in terms of like no cell phones, no notifications, reduce it, make sure that your environment, think about all the things that you need to do beforehand so that when you come to this 1 hour session, you are focused, you are with it. Oh, this is one other thing I wanted to say. If you happen to be not able to come those 2 times live and you're watching the replay, I would like the same level of dedication in terms of your environment, in terms of prepping and everything, before you press play and watch the replay again. There are many courses out there in which just like, let you purchase a course and like you take it and you just do it, and whether or not you succeed, there is kind of like no accountability. For this course, it is going to be different in the sense that we're going to be pairing you up with another person so that you really are more accompanied throughout this process. And also that I really care about your spiritual growth, like truly. I want this course to be a transformative one for you. And what that would require in order for you to see results is for you to make a difference, make an imprint on your day, noticeably different from what you've done before, which will require an adjustment, orientation change. The beauty of this program is that it starts very small. So it's not about doing a lot at one time, but it is constantly about bringing the attention back, 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 so that eventually your attention is never leaving. Okay, so the frequency in which bringing your attention back is emphasized here. So it is not for you to cram in one day, like miss 2 or 3 days of reflection and then go and then cram for like 3 hours. Absolutely not. That's not the purpose of this program. It is literally to incrementally, little by little, do it daily. Frequency is more important here than amount. Okay. So there's no cramming here. It is literally, you will dedicate certain hours in your day, certain times in your day to dedicate to the practices, and that's when they will be completed. And so that very smallly and succinctly, we're going to be progressing together, all together. So We don't want anyone to kind of like fall off the wagon. And we also know what that means in terms of encouraging each other, in terms of being there for each other, in terms of me reminding you constantly to come back to the practice. But above all, let us not forget that we're going to be learning so much about ourselves. We're going to be having so much fun. We're going to be learning so much. And all of the knowledge that you'll be learning in this course are things that you can take with you lifelong throughout the rest of your life. It will be something that you will practice. It is not just this time period. I think that's all for today. I look forward to having you in the course. If there's anyone else, there's still a couple more spots left. We are capping out at 30 people. And if you would like to join us, please send me your email, your first name, your last name, and your email address, and your WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number is for the group. The email address is for, and the names are for the membership portal, the place where you go to rewatch the replays, to watch the replays of the sessions. Even if you have come to the live sessions, I would like it for you to find at least one point in time during the week to rewatch the session again so that you're refreshing it. And the second time you listen to it, you will hear something else and something different. A couple other things that I wanted to share in terms of attitudes. Some of you might already be familiar with the Seven Valleys book already. Some of you may not. For those who have read it, and you're like, I already know this, I already know what it's about and things like that, we're going to be reading it in a very different way. So the attitude that I would like you to have going into it is one of openness and one of curiosity and one of wanting to take your understanding to ever greater levels of height. Every day we will be reading the Seven Valleys, like a portion of it. And each time I'm hoping that there will be one extra meaning that will be derived from it. And so the mind can not be shut or be closed in the sense that, oh, I've read it once, I've read it twice, I've read it 700 times. This time, reading it with a group, studying it deeply is going to be very different. So allow that sense of openness of your mind, in that rather than saying, I knew this, try to reframe it as like, now that we're learning this again, how can I apply this to my life? And how can I understand this a bit further? I think that's all. So if you would like to, for those who still haven't signed up for the Yogic Chakras through the Seven Valleys program, I very much look forward to having you with us if you would like to join. It's going to be during the beginning parts of the Baha'i fast, and that will also aid us in terms of habit building, because our whole mood, our change, and our habits all get readjusted. This is the perfect time to do a program like this, because the heavens will assist you and the cleansing process, that your energy levels all will be reoriented in a way that it will make it so much easier to do this program now in particular. So I hope you enjoy this and this was a bit informative for you. And I cannot wait to see you in the course. Bye, guys.